the cleanest of clean finishers from the best on the planet.
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
Liverpool, the champions of Europe, are top of the world.
The biggest interviews.
That such a great spectacle is ruined by such thuggish behaviour.
And all the analysis right here.
He's the one player that has the arrogance to think that he can play in any stadium in the world and any pitch in the world in front of any player in the world and take them on.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
Celebration time at Zimbabwe cricket, and how fitting for this Friday, Fire Friday, Party Friday, we call it, on your favorite sports show, ZiFM Sport, with your favorite team of pundits and analysts. Alois Munjira, the former Zimbabwe international, Chris Midzi. My name is Mike Madod, and our producer is Sean Tafirinyika. Barry Bazamanandi, unavailable, but is sure to be back on Monday when we take a look back at the weekend. That big story on the cricket front, on the home front, Luke Jongwe taking 4 wickets as the Chevrons pulled off a surprise 19-run victory over Pakistan in the second T20 international of a 3-match series at Harare Sports Club, which leaves the series nicely poised at 1-1 heading into the third and decisive encounter. We also have international sports news for you, where D-Mac, Damon McKenzie, did it once again. The Chiefs star, Golden Boot, nailed a penalty in injury time to hand the Waikato Chiefs a last gasp win for the third straight week, with his final 3 points resulting in a 26-24 victory over the Wellington Hurricanes.
Some more international sports news on the cards when we take you around the world in 60, taking off in Barcelona, where Rafael Nadal says it was a very important victory for him, as he had to fight to make it through the quarterfinals by defeating Kei Nishikori in 3 sets. In Florida, Jorge Masvidal says he has the formula to dethrone Kamaru Usman as the welterweight rivals came face to face ahead of their highly anticipated rematch at UFC 261. And in Wisconsin, Giannis Antetokounmpo had 27 points, 16 rebounds and 6 assists to lift the host Milwaukee Bucks past the Philadelphia 76ers 124-117.
And then the second half of the show is always the beautiful game. But before we get there, we'll have our play of the day, and we'll get the party started right here. In fact, they've beaten us to the punch, haven't they, Zimbabwe cricket? Because the party started earlier at Harare Sports Club with that victory. But we'll do our best to add our flavour at ZiFM Sport before we take you into the beautiful game beginning in England, where Tottenham head into Sunday's Carabao Cup final versus Manchester City with renewed optimism after Ryan Mason won his first game in charge. In Spain, there are just 6 match days left in La Liga, and the title race is still so close, with Atletico, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Sevilla all vying to come out on top. And then we'll touch down in Italy, where Paulo Dybala and Federico Chiesa are set to return for Juve ahead of their clash against Fiorentina as they look to cement their place in the top 4.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
Let's go to Harare Sports Club, the second T20 international, and Luke Jongwe took 4 wickets as the Chevrons pulled off a surprise 19-run victory over Pakistan in that second T20 international of a 3-match series at Harare Sports Club. Pakistan skipper Babar Azam won the toss, opted to bowl, and the tourists restricted the Chevrons to 118 for 9 with 34-run Tinashe Kamunukamwe, the only batsman to impress, set a run-a-ball target for victory. Pakistan lost star opener Mohammad Rizwan for only 13, and 41-run Azam was the lone batsman to star as they slumped to 99, all out of 19.5 overs. The tail of the tape, the scorecard at Harare Sports Club, Zimbabwe 118 for 9. Kamune 34. The pick of the Pakistan bowlers was Mohammad Hasnain, who snared 2 for 19. In reply, Pakistan could not even get to triple figures. 99 all out in 19.5 overs. Babar Azam 41, and then there were star performances for Luke Jongwe with the ball, 4 for 18. Ryan Burl 2 for 21. Also took several catches. Ryan Burl out in the field. Zimbabwe winning by 19 runs. Now let's hear from man of the match, Luke Jongwe.
Thank you to the Almighty for today's match, and then thank you to my teammates, my coach and everything for this wonderful. I wouldn't have done without them. I think it got a bit difficult later on in the innings, so we kept on doing what I do best, which is changing up the pace and stuff. So it kept on working, and I just kept on doing it.
It kept on working, he kept on doing it, and in the end, he put in a record-breaking performance, didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, record-breaking performance. It's the best bowling performance for a Zimbabwean in T20 internationals, and I think just taking a look at that performance, it's essentially what got the boys this result. Our bowling performance was absolutely brilliant today.
Brilliant, and he captured key wickets as well. He got Rizwan, he got Babar Azam, and then he also got Haris Rauf, who can swing the willow towards the end, as well as Ashad Iqbal as the Pakistan tail collapsed. And then Ryan Burl as well, Chris, chipping in with 2 wickets, and Muzarabani and Richard Ngarava, they're all weighed in. So you're right to say that our bowling was on point. And I go back to the first T20 international, and we talked about how well our bowlers had performed, and they carried on.
And they carried on in this performance. The only thing is that in the previous performances, our batting that let us down. But today, in our bowling, in our fielding as well, we did a little bit better. And some people actually say that it's the catches that win you matches.
The catches that win you matches. Zimbabwe celebrating its first T20 international victory over Pakistan, and a Pakistan side that came into Harare high on confidence, having swatted aside the challenge of the Proteas. Yes, the Proteas may have been missing some of their star players who have gone out to the IPL, of course, like De Kock and Faf du Plessis, as well as KG Kagiso Rabada, but still the team they put out should have been competitive versus Pakistan, but they were not. But Zimbabwe has been competitive, Chris, and that's what we've been crying out for, that even when we lose matches like we did in the first game or win matches like now, we must remain competitive.
Yes, we must remain competitive, and coming into this, no one had particularly high hopes that we'd be able to win the series, but I think just taking a look at this performance, it's one of those performances you look at and you can say, you know what, this is really showing what the Chevrons can do when they're given the chance, when they take the opportunity. And today they definitely took their opportunities, and also not necessarily relying on a couple of players. But here, if you take a look at our bowlers, Ryan Burl, Blessing Zarabani, Richard Ngarava, that spread also assists. If we could get the same from our batting performance, I think we'd have an absolute winner of a team.
Yeah, are you concerned with the batting? Because yes, we won the game, but we've got to say that Pakistan will be kicking themselves, because having been set that target, I mean that's a paltry target. Let's be honest, 118 is not good enough, and so it's the bowlers that got us over the line. Our batsmen hadn't set up a competitive total. I mean, apart from Kamunukamwe, you take a look at Taylor, he went out for 5, Marumani 13, Madevere 16, Burl 3, Chakava 18, Musakanda 13. We need to ramp it up. We need to really put in a performance with the bat in the decisive third T20 international.
Absolutely. That's I think the area we need to work on the most. I don't worry about our bowling, because like you saw in this performance, that's what got us over. But if you take a look at our batsmen, it's not necessarily the number of players that we need coming to the party. We need a lot more players putting up those 20s and 30s in order for us to put up competitive scores. 118 for a team like Pakistan, they could have easily swatted us over, but they didn't manage to do that because of our bowling performance, and that's In part, a little bit of luck.
Yeah, and Pakistan definitely will be very, very disappointed with their own batting performance. It simply wasn't good enough. Their bowling was decent because they restricted Zimbabwe to 118. And if you take a look at their bowling performance, each of the 6 Pakistan bowlers picked up at least a wicket each, as Zimbabwe was restricted to that below par score. So they'll be happy with their bowling, but they'll look to some of their senior players and say, hey guys, you've got to put in big performances if we were to win that decisive T20 international versus Zimbabwe. Just going to Twitter here, lots of messages that are coming in to congratulate the boys. Sims Mudu says extremely outstanding bowling and fielding as well. Archie Chivanga says congratulations to the Chevrons. Nice fielding work today. Ray G, congratulations to the Chevrons. And then you've got Muradzi Kwa, who says brilliant fielding. My kudos to the whole team and especially to the captain, Brendan Taylor. And that is the untold story of this afternoon's performance. Brendan Taylor standing in as captain. Let's hear from him. And he did an absolutely wonderful job standing in for Sean Williams, who was rested.
Yeah, a big turnaround from the first game. And that's all you can ask from your players. They were very professional today in the field with their bowling. They had clear minds. They executed their plans brilliantly, and I couldn't have asked for more today. I'll be lying if I said I was confident, but the character shown within the first power play, I thought, well, we're in for half a chance here. We just dig deep, and we saw today how difficult it is to score on that wicket. So we managed to squeeze Pakistan, and our commitment, determination got us over the line. Well, I think as a batting unit, I think we need to fire a little bit better in the power play, get off to a decent start, and then that takes the pressure off in the middle overs. We feel they're a stronger bowling unit than a batting unit, so I think we can just build a few more partnerships. You see 140, 150 will win you a game here.
Duke of Vukururu says great captaining by BT. TR7 says fantastic captaincy by BT, and he got backed by his bowlers and fielders. The bowlers absolutely brilliant. And Chris, that's the story, isn't it? I mean, able leadership, decisive in the field, Brendan Taylor, and everything rises and falls on leadership.
It definitely does. And if you take a look at T20 cricket, it's a faster pace. You want to get a lot more done in a lot shorter space of time, and you have a lot less opportunity to do so. So you require a lot of strategy going into this. And I think Brendan Taylor's shown just what kind of a strategist he is, how good he is as a strategist, and a brilliant leader.
Absolutely. I mean, his management, his rotation of the bowlers, and his decision making, knowing who to bring on at any particular time. He never allowed the Pakistan team to actually get out of the noose that Zimbabwe had thrown around their neck. So able captaincy from Brendan Taylor, very clear in his thought processes, and of course excellent in the execution out on the field. And it's congratulations to him and to the Chevrons for winning this game. And of course it's all set up for the third and decisive T20 international. Who wins the series? Will it be Zimbabwe, who came in as the underdogs and the outsiders, or will it be Pakistan looking to assert themselves and to bounce back from what many in the Pakistan media will consider to be an embarrassment? Now, after the T20 series, Zimbabwe and Pakistan will play 2 test matches in Harare beginning on the 29th of April, and the second test will get underway on the 7th of May.
Hi, my name is Sean Williams, Zimbabwe cricket captain. You're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Z.
Lots of cricket here at home, and also lots of cricket out in India, Chris. The IPL is well and truly underway. The Rajasthan Royals this weekend will take on the Kolkata Knight Riders. The Chennai Super Kings will take on the Royal Challengers Bangalore. That should be a good one. Dhoni versus Kohli, who will come out on top. And then it's the Sunrisers Hyderabad taking on the Delhi Capitals. The Delhi Capitals beating the Mumbai Indians. That's a result that would have pleased you, Chris, if you consider that the Delhi Capitals lost to the Mumbai Indians in the final last year.
Yeah, so this is setting up for what's going to be a brilliant season for the Delhi Capitals. I think getting these important wins is incredibly good for the team.
A young team, and of course led by Ricky Ponting, their coach, and they're looking to go one step further and win the competition outright. But it's still early days in India. Plenty of cricket to be played, but the Mumbai Indians have got to get their act together if they're to make any headway this season. They've got a good team, but the results just aren't coming their way. Coming up, we've got a local sports news roundup for you. Golf, hockey, basketball, and then we go international with rugby news.
Hi, my name's Ryan Cairns, Sunshine Tour professional golfer, and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Let's give you that local sports news wrap, starting off in golf, where Wingate will host the Zimbabwe Golf Association's Julius Robinson Trophy. Tomorrow, the event will see over 50 top amateur golfers taking part. The Julius Robinson Trophy carries national points, world amateur golf ranking points, and it's a Windhoek Lager qualifying tournament. The 54-hole stroke play tournament used to be the second amateur tournament of the season on the ZGA calendar after the Doug Moore Trophy. Some hockey news for you. The national men's under-21 field hockey side is expected to resume training next month in preparation for the Junior Africa Cup in August. Team manager Hannington Sibanda says while they were waiting for the official confirmation of the venue and competition dates, they were not leaving things to chance. The under-21 men's side had been training in groups in Chiredzi, Bulawayo, Harare before the COVID-19 outbreak. Coach Fidelis Majuba called up 24 players to the squad, and those are the same players that will resume training next month. We'll end off with some basketball news, where the Basketball Union of Zimbabwe will play host to the FIBA Under-15 Skills Challenge African qualifiers at the University of Zimbabwe tomorrow. The FIBA Under-15 Skills Challenge will see top African basketball playing nations squaring off against each other in virtual contests. A total of 17 countries will take part in the competition, with Zimbabwe being in Group A together with Egypt, Gabon, Guinea, Central African Republic and Cameroon.
Local music on your station of choice.
One station, 24/7.
Z. Rockin' the nation in one voice. We are Z. My station.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
We got a fan zone coming up straight after our play of the day. Get in touch with us on 0731168045. That's 0731168045. Let's go to New Zealand. Super Rugby Aotearoa, and Damian McKenzie has done it again. D-Mac, the Chiefs Stars Golden Boot, nailed a penalty in injury time to hand the Waikato franchise a last gasp win for the third straight week, with his final 3 points resulting in a 26-24 victory over the Hurricanes. Let's hear from Chiefs captain Brad Weber, who praised Damian McKenzie's clutch kicking.
Oh, we've got to stop doing that. It's not good for my heart. No, he's been Mr. Clutch all year, hasn't he? So I didn't have a sliver of doubt that he was going to miss that. He's been hitting them all year, and geez, he's good, isn't he? Oh, just stoked that we got the win. Geez, it was ugly, and the Hurricanes were probably the better team for a lot of that game. So that's, you know, I'm not surprised that we're here right now. I've been in amongst the work that we're putting in, and this group deserves it, in my opinion. And I don't care how many people wrote us off. I said ages ago that we're going to surprise a lot of people this year, and sure enough, that's come true.
And the most impressive thing about their victory, Chris, apart from the clutch kicking of D-Mac, is the fact that they trailed for long periods in this game. So they showed character.
They definitely showed character. They trailed for long parts of the game, and the Hurricanes were actually the first ones on the board. So it's just coming back from that and getting such a last gasp win. They keep getting these last gasp wins. It's just showing the character of this team, because starting at the beginning of the season, we didn't really give them a chance. But here they are, 3 consecutive wins later, and they're basically changing things up in the entire competition.
Yeah, and the Hurricanes will just take a look at this game and think, you know what, this is one that got away because they outscored the Chiefs side 3-2 in this thrilling contest, but still ended up on the losing side thanks to Damian McKenzie's kicking, which proved to be the difference. Now let's hear from the losing captain, Dane Coles of the Hurricanes.
Yeah, mate, she's pretty tight, and we gave ourselves the right chance at the 80th minute, but just couldn't quite get the job done tonight, mate. We tried our heart out, but unfortunately, Clutch McKenzie come up again and took the heart out of us. But I'm just proud of. A bit tough at the moment, mate, but we keep turning up, and you can see by effort that we're trying our heart out, but we're just not quite getting the result.
And one of the things that they'll need to look at, Chris, is the discipline, because in these tight encounters where it's a tight contest, that becomes key.
It definitely becomes key. The penalties they conceded actually came back to bite them, and that's exactly what the issue becomes. Is in those last gasp moments, I think it was in the 81st minute, you have those issues of lack of discipline, and it definitely dents the entire performance, and you lose by a couple of points.
Yeah, the result extending the Chiefs' winning streak to 5 games and puts them in second place, 5 points clear of the Auckland Blues ahead of their crucial clash with the first place Crusaders in Christchurch on a Sunday. So take a look at that table. The Crusaders have got 23 points. The Chiefs would have thought that they're just 3 points behind with 20 points in second place. The Blues, they have it all to do. They have to beat the Crusaders this coming weekend in order to keep themselves in the hunt. They got 15 points. The Highlanders have got 14 points, and the Hurricanes, they bring up the rear with 7 points. They've won just 1 game in the 6 matches that they have played, in the last 6 matches that they have played. Let's go to Australia, where the Western Force will play the Brumbies in the semi-final after securing a superb 30-27 comeback victory over the table-topping Reds in Perth. Tomorrow's action will see the Waratahs taking on the Melbourne Rebels.
Hi, I'm JC Krill, Springbok and Blue Bulls backline player. You are listening to ZiFM Sports.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We take off in Barcelona, where Rafael Nadal says it was a very important victory for him, as he's had to fight to make it through to the quarterfinals by defeating Kei Nishikori in 3 sets. Nadal conquered Kei Nishikori 6-love, 2-6, 6-2 in 2 hours and 19 minutes to bring his win-loss record against the Japanese star to 12 wins and 2 losses. Nadal will play against Cameron Norrie in the last 8 at the Barcelona Open. We'll head over to Florida, where Jorge Masvidal says he has the formula to dethrone Kamaru Usman, as the welterweight rivals came face-to-face ahead of their highly anticipated rematch at UFC 261. Masvidal was unable to defeat reigning champion Usman when the pair met on Fight Island last year. However, the Miami-based knockout artist believes that with a full camp behind him and having spent a full 5 rounds in the octagon with Usman, he is well placed to end his 13-fight winning streak and win gold in front of returning fans in Jacksonville tomorrow night. We'll touch down in Wisconsin, where Giannis Antetokounmpo had 27 points, 16 rebounds and 6 assists to lift the host Milwaukee Bucks past the Philadelphia 76ers 124-117. Chris Middleton added 24 points. Bobby Portis added 23 as the Bucks snapped a 2-game losing streak. The weekend's key matchup in the NBA sees the Western Conference 2nd seed Phoenix Suns go up against the Eastern Conference 2nd seed, the Brooklyn Nets.
We are your station of choice, the People's Station, ZiFM Stereo.
Fan Zone. Get in touch with the team and have your say your way.
Operator.
You can hit us up on Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport, or that number again, 0731168045. Some messages coming through. This one is from Gennaro in Glenora. Hansi, hi guys. Those 4 dropped catches in the first game, it was a matter of rewriting our wrongs. Hats off to Luke Jongwe. Another message coming through. Congratulations, Chevrons. Good to see players picked on current form performing brilliantly. Kamunu Kamwe and Luke Strong Jongwe. That's from Vusi in Skies. And another message. This one is of the footballing variety. Madrid and Barcelona used to have a special arrangement from the rest, and this allowed them to grow exponentially. The ESL is a way of rekindling their special arrangement. That's from Sekuru Arupa. Unfortunately, it's kind of died a stillbirth.
Yeah, it's kind of like, but I don't think it's gone away. I think it's going to come back. The UEFA has to reform. There have to be concessions. The money has to be spread a lot better than it is right now. Otherwise, these guys will try again. That's one thing. They'll try again. It might be 5 years down the road, but they will bring it back up.
Definitely.
Okay, more messages coming in, especially on Twitter. Celebrations. And Gift Nyamuka has got a very interesting one, Chris, and I want to hear what you think. Gift says, so if Zim can beat Pakistan and Pakistan wiped the floor with the Proteas, then surely then we can conclude that Zimbabwe is better than South Africa.
It's a nice deduction. and right now we're all euphoric and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But how often can Zimbabwe get these wins against a team like Pakistan? That's what we need to think about. This was a brilliant bowling performance from us, but overall we could have done a lot better, and no, we can't beat the Proteas.
Brighton Masonza on Twitter says, this shakes off the heat streak, bad publicity. Well done, boys. We really needed this. And Zimbabwe being talked up, especially in the global media after beating Pakistan, from a good perspective for a change.
From a good perspective, and Pakistan media doesn't necessarily know what to do with this particular result. They're not particularly happy, but it's good to see the chevrons in international media for all of the right reasons, and I hope they continue to do so.
Brian Kalupanga, short, sharp and sweet, simply says, well done. Yashpal Toma says, this win is a wake-up call for the teams who do not want to play with Zimbabwe. And then Tafi Tilo says they should have allowed them to bring on the 12th man to bat so that Luke Jongwe would have a hat-trick, because he took wickets with his last 2 balls and then there was no one else to come. But he's still on the hat-trick ball. It means that when Zimbabwe play in the 3rd game, when Luke Jongwe bowls his first delivery, he'll have an opportunity to complete his hat-trick.
Nice message here coming from Baba Rafaela in Kariba. Hansi, well done, chevrons. Nastovata Shakanak.
We are
calling my phone like I'm locked up non-stop. From the plane to the helicopter, yeah.
24/7. ZiFM stereo is untouchable.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport. All the rivalry.
Here is Harry Kane for Tottenham. Oh, what a goal! A classic derby goal from Harry Kane. Catch him if you can.
All the stars.
Back here's Liverpool 2 in front. Talk about impudence. Talk about improvisation. Talk about Sadio Mane.
And all the game-changing moments.
And Raheem Sterling rattles at home. And once more, City are in front in a trice.
All the updates from the Premier League on ZiFM Sport.
If the fans were allowed to the stadiums, would have been saying that all roads lead to Wembley, but unfortunately not. It'll just be a case of Tottenham and Manchester City, and they head into Sunday's Carabao Cup final. That is Spurs versus City, with renewed optimism after former player Ryan Mason won his first game in charge. Jose Mourinho's sacking has lifted the mood at the club despite the failed Super League fiasco, and former player turned coach Mason could cap a remarkable story of winning the club's first piece of silverware in 13 years. Let's hear from the interim manager Ryan Mason, who spoke about the importance of their midweek win versus Southampton heading into Sunday's final.
Yeah, there's no doubting Wednesday night was massive, just for the whole energy around the club, the players, the feeling. It's important you go into a massive game like we have on Sunday feeling good, and I think the manner in which we won the match Wednesday night, listen, it was a good feeling. The lads felt confident, they felt comfortable, and hopefully that momentum can build into the weekend.
Have you had any dealings with conversations perhaps with Pep Guardiola in the past, and what have you made of his teams over the years?
No, I've had no dealings at all. Just like any other football man that watches his teams. Listen, he's a great manager. He's one of the best in the world. There's no doubt in that. He's been at City for a while now, so he's got that as well. They've got a lot of familiar faces within their setup. They know how they play, but listen, we're Tottenham, and I'm sure they'll be thinking of us as well.
Now, Alois, just a week ago, we would have been talking about Pep Guardiola versus Jose Mourinho, two of the best managers in world football, two of the best tacticians. But Jose Mourinho has been sacked just days before the cup final, and we are forced to talk about Pep Guardiola versus Ryan Mason. Was the sack coming for Jose?
I don't know, man. I didn't see that one coming. To be honest, I thought that he was not doing well, but he was floating there. Probably, I don't know what was the mandate that he was given at Spurs, because probably I saw them qualifying for the top 4, which they have always done, but I didn't see him with a squad that could win the league. So I don't know if the mandate was for him to win the league, because I thought that they were going to give him another season to see how he was going to fare and all. But probably now Spurs have got other ambitions, so probably they now win the league. They now want to win the league, but unfortunately they're not going to be winning the league if they are not bolstering their squad the way the other top teams are doing it. And there are also chances that they might even lose Kane in the coming season. So it's very difficult to actually see how they're going to achieve that ambition of winning the league, as it were.
So they put Ryan Mason in charge, Chris, and he's a former player. He used to be a decent player, suffered that horrendous head injury, and then had to stop playing at a very young age. And he's the man that they have entrusted with handling the team. Does that put City perhaps at an advantage in terms of experience and the know-how that we talk about Pep Guardiola, who's rated the best. So in terms of tactically, surely he's got an edge over the inexperienced Ryan Mason.
Definitely. I think tactically Pep Guardiola is first of all a cut above the rest, and you're looking at your experienced managers. So when Ryan Mason comes into this, he doesn't have as much experience, and yes, there's that, the exuberance of youth, and that team gets that boost when there's an almost shift in management. But I don't think that's going to be enough to buffer him against a mind like Pep Guardiola's.
Is this a game, Alois, where the players have got to rise up? We were talking about Ryan Mason not having the experience, but surely here, if Spurs is to do well, it means that the likes of Son, the likes of Kane, if he's available, because there's an injury, a fear that he might not be available, the likes of Gareth Bale, they're going to have to play very well to make sure that they cover up any tactical deficiencies that the manager might have.
Yeah, Mike, when I looked at the Spurs lineup, I could actually pick a team that is actually capable of winning a lot of things, of winning trophies, of winning even the league if they intensify their fight for it. But like you are saying now, you look at those players, those are big time players that they can actually rise. A team with Gareth Bale and Harry Kane playing in the forward line, with Son. Honestly speaking, this is one of the best forward line you can actually find in any
European
league.
football.
Yes, in any league. Yes, this is actually a very good forward line. So they need to rise up. Never mind the coach, but you know what? A lot of people were thinking that this is a game that Jose Mourinho could actually do a smash and grab and get. So with the new coach now, they don't know. So it's up to the players now to actually rise up and say, we are good enough. We are world-class players. We can actually go out there and play against Manchester City and win this. They must be hungry enough themselves as players to actually come together and say, guys, we need this, we can get this, we can get it. So I think that's what they need to do, because they're good enough to do it.
Well, standing in the away is the formidable Manchester City, who are managed by Pep Guardiola. He speaks about his side's preparations leading up to the final.
Well, the game against Aston Villa showed that we were ready, and we will be ready on Sunday. And of course, there's a new manager, Brian, and we took a look a game against Southampton, but it's just one game. I don't know, it's a pattern for the way they play. So yeah, when that's happened, it just focus more in what you have to do, and we will see what happens.
Well, if there's a cup competition that City invariably win, Chris, it's this one, because they have totally dominated the Carabao Cup.
Definitely. They haven't lost a League Cup match since October 2016, and they're looking to win this competition for the 5th time in 6 years and the 4th season on the trot. If stats are anything to go by, we might as well just give them the trophy.
Put the ribbons and give the trophy to Manchester City. So, listen, Alois, you talked about if if Jose was there was obviously a possibility that he could have put in a very tight, disciplined performance and done a smash and grab. You know, Jose's teams, it wasn't about possession, it was just about getting the job done. Ryan Mason, I think, will try and play to the Tottenham traditions, try and open up, try and attack, and that might just leave them exposed to Manchester City, because if it's an open game, Man City will absolutely murder you. Do you see any chance that Tottenham could win this game? And if they have a chance, what is your prediction?
Now, if they're going to win this, they have to be very solid in defense, because going toe-to-toe with Manchester City, again, any team that wants to go toe-to-toe with Manchester City, there's a risk that they can be ripped up. You know, so I think that Spurs, for them, they needed Jose Mourinho. To be honest, they needed to play that, lock the defense, go on a break, because they have the players that can actually do it. King can actually hold up play. Song can do that. Gareth Bale has got the speed. They've got the players that could actually do the counter-attacking. But if they want to go toe-to-toe, that is actually the danger. If they believe in what I have just said, that they've got world-class players that can actually go forward and do it, now that's the danger now, that they can be ripped apart, because Manchester City, they're also very good at breaking quickly and penetrate, because they've got players that are very capable and very skillful.
Give me a scoreline, Alois. Give me a scoreline.
3-1 to Man City.
3-1 to Man City. Chris, do you disagree, or you just see it differently in terms of the goals scored?
Just different in terms of the goals scored. I think I'm going to go with a 2-0 for Manchester City.
Hi, my name is Rune Shamba, Mytoria's super striker. You're listening to ZiFM Sports.
It is ZiFM Sport. It is the beautiful game. There's more action in England. The Premier League fixtures are as follows. There's a very testy encounter at the Emirates. There's Arsenal taking on the Toffees, Everton. Liverpool host Newcastle United at Anfield. Sheffield United, relegated, take on Brighton, who are fighting to stay in the Premier League. Wolves versus Burnley. Leeds United versus Manchester United. It should be an exciting game, that one. Remember the last time United thumped Leeds 6-1. Will it be a repeat, or will Leeds get their revenge? Aston Villa versus West Bromwich Albion, and then it's West Ham versus Chelsea. Now, this is a very important game, isn't it, Alois? Because West Ham trying to stay in the Champions League places, Chelsea also trying to stay in those Champions League places. So one of these teams, if they lose, are going to lose a lot of ground this weekend.
Yeah, it's actually like a cup final for them. You know, everybody is talking about Champions League places, because they already see, you know, when you look at the log, it's Manchester City and Manchester United. The Manchester teams have already taken the two slots. Now it's left with the other two slots, and everyone, the other, I think 5 teams or
Leicester,
so, yes,
Chelsea,
they are vying for
West Ham, Liverpool,
yes,
Tottenham.
That makes them 6.
Yeah,
they're vying for 2 places. So it's actually very difficult and tough. You know, and this is a match that they know that, you know what, for a team to qualify for the top 4, they will need to beat the other teams that are fighting for those slots. So this is a match that is pitting those 2 teams.
It's a cup final.
Fighting. It's a cup final.
I like the way you put it. It's a cup final. And Chris, who are you going to tip? In fact, let me ask you this: do you see West Ham being there in the Champions League places come the end of match day 38?
I don't, and I'll tell you why. I think when it comes to those top 4 places, what's going to happen is that we're going to see the most consistent teams, the teams that can grind out the results in these last few games. And for me, West Ham, besides of late, have not been consistent enough.
The league that makes football oh so beautiful, where artistry and strokes of genius are the order of any day, where the game is played with a smile and the little master creates his magic.
Lionel Messi!
All the news from the Spanish La Liga on ZiFM Sport.
The goal the world wants it!
Let's take you into Spain now. Just 6 match days left in La Liga, and the title race is still so close, with Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Sevilla all vying to come out on top. Atletico Madrid made quick work of Huesca, winning 2-0. Then later on, it was Barcelona's turn in a match that featured 2 own goals and 2 penalty kick goals. Lionel Messi scoring 2 goals in the run of play in Barca's strong 5-2 win over Getafe. Alois, obviously, first thing, Lionel Messi's performances. If you take a look at the number of goals he scores for Barcelona, how Barcelona is playing, this is still really in they're still really in the game for this one.
Yeah, you can actually tell that Lionel Messi is still a vital cog in that team, and he's like an ageless player. He is actually he is not scoring as much as he has been in the past few seasons. One would want to say that probably it's because Cristiano Ronaldo is no more in La Liga. They were pushing each other. Those guys were basically pushing each other. Now he is still top scoring, but not as much. But he is a very important player for Barcelona. And like I have always said, I've seen the consistency of Barcelona in La Liga in recent months, and they look like a sure bet. For me, I think I'm a Real Madrid fan. Real Madrid are also coming strong as well. But for consistency-wise, I think that Barcelona are the more consistent team, and they look like they're just going to overtake Atletico Madrid just before the finishing line.
And speaking of Lionel Messi, just to put this in context, he scored his 468th La Liga goal, and that's the same number as Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney, the Premier League's top 2 all-time leading goal scorers combined, and he did it in 418 fewer games. Lionel Messi is truly one of a kind, and he might just be what Barcelona needs. But Mike, Atletico Madrid, they had a bit of a lead. They had a significant enough buffer, but now there's just 3 points between them and Real Madrid. There was a time when you said, you know what, this thing is for Atletico Madrid to lose. Yeah. And that's sort of what's happening. Atletico Madrid might not necessarily be able to walk away with this, despite that huge lead they had midway through the season.
They'll have regrets about the league, but they'll also think to themselves, had you offered them to be in this position at the start of the season, they would have accepted it. Everything is now building up to the clash versus Barcelona. That becomes a must-win encounter, because if they draw that game, it then means that Real Madrid will be 1 point behind. If they lose that game, it means Barcelona shoots to the top of the table. So everything, we talked about West Ham Chelsea being a cup final. Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona could decide where La Liga is going to end up.
And Real Madrid, Alois, they don't have the best team. Then they didn't necessarily look like they had it all together, but here they are grinding out results, sitting in second, and definitely reaching into that top spot.
I think it is all due to Barcelona clicking late in the season, and also Real Madrid, they didn't have a very good season themselves. For Real Madrid to be actually where they are right now, I think it's actually a surprise, because there was a time that they were down and out. They also got hit a very good time that they had consistency, and they closed the gap. But like Mike said, the team that is always going to regret is Atletico Madrid. Yes, they wouldn't worry about it if it was at the beginning of the season. If somebody would have asked them, would you want to be in this position at this particular time, they would have loved it to be there right now. But they had it in their hands, and they are letting it go. Now, like Mike said, now the match against Barcelona is actually like a cup final, because once they draw, it's going to be interesting if they draw against Barcelona and Real Madrid comes close, and it's going to be very interesting in La Liga.
Exciting into La Liga. The weekend fixtures: Elche takes on Levante, Real Valladolid versus Cadiz, Valencia will take on Alaves, Real Madrid versus Real Betis, Huesca versus Getafe, Villarreal will be up against Barcelona, Celta Vigo versus Osasuna, Sevilla versus Granada, Athletic Club versus Atletico Madrid.
The Nerazzurri, the Black and Blues, Inter Milan.
It's Romelu Lukaku, and it was never in doubt. He's a beast at the best of times, but this season he has become a monster.
The Giallorossi, the Yellow and Reds, AS Roma.
Belotti has a go! Tremendous hits! That's what he's capable of.
La Viola, the Purple Ones, Fiorentina.
Franck Ribéry seals a glorious win for Fiorentina with a sumptuous goal at San Siro.
The Bianconeri, the Black and Whites, Juventus.
Ronaldo seals yet another 3 points for Juventus.
Tough yet colourful. The best of Italian football on Z.
Now, when we were growing up, this was the big game in Italy. The clash between Juventus and Fiorentina. Fiorentina, the club that gave us the likes of Roberto Baggio before he moved to Juventus. But sadly, La Viola has fallen on hard times. They're up against Juventus. Juventus is the one that needs to win. Listen, La Viola, Alois, will not be relegated. They're not playing for anything. But Juventus are trying to stay in the Champions League places, because as things stand means now even Champions League qualification is not assured.
It's actually quite crazy. Just a few months ago, we were crying that we don't want Juve to win this league. Because they were perennial winners of Serie A, and we were like, no man, there must be one team. If there's a team that can actually wrestle this away from them, is Inter Milan, and they've done exactly what we predicted. But for them to be now fighting for their lives to actually be in the Champions League, it's actually quite
now
crazy.
we want them to qualify.
Yeah, but now we actually want them to qualify. For some reason, we didn't want them to win the league, but at least we want them to stay in the Champions League, because for the fans, for the neutrals, we always want the big teams to be in the Champions League. So now they are desperately fighting for their lives to stay there. It's actually quite crazy.
And now the old lady lost to Fiorentina in their first encounter of the season by 3 unanswered goals. They'll have to turn it around. The rest of your Serie A weekend fixtures: Genoa versus Spezia, Parma versus Crotone, Sassuolo versus Sampdoria, Benevento versus Udinese. That big game, Fiorentina versus Juve. Internazionale takes on Verona, Cagliari versus Roma, Atalanta versus Bologna. Over to Germany. And of course, the race for Champions League qualification is hotting up. Wolfsburg host Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga tomorrow. That is a key game. Wolfsburg currently in third, and there's a 5-point gap separating them from Borussia Dortmund. And Chris, Borussia Dortmund playing catch-up. They've looked good in the last few games, so they'll be hoping to carry that momentum into this game, because this is a must-win. They failed to win this weekend. I think it's all but done in terms of Champions League qualification.
Yeah, it's going to be curtains for them for the Champions League, and that would be sad for Borussia Dortmund. But if you take a look at how they've come along in the last few games, the number of goals that they're scoring, how they're improving that defense, I think that this could be a fairly tasty encounter.
That is the key game, Wolfsburg versus Dortmund. Elsewhere, Mönchengladbach will welcome Arminia Bielefeld. Leipzig versus Stuttgart. Bayer Leverkusen versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Freiburg versus Hoffenheim. Mainz versus Bayern Munich. Union Berlin versus Werder Bremen, and it's Augsburg versus Cologne. A quick look at France. We'll see Reims taking on Olympique Marseille. Metz versus PSG, and Lyon will take on Lille. That is all we have for guys.
Yeah, that's our story. I'm going to stick into it.
Yeah, we're going to stick to it. And Chris, Alois, and Mike out. We'll be back on Monday. Barry will be with us so that he can do his signature, his signature payoff or his signature goodbye. But have a great weekend, Zimbabwe, and all the best to the Chevrons when they take on Pakistan in the third T20 International. Hopefully, we can win the series.